Hello again, welcome to another vlog. Today I'm going to do some photography in some woodland. Now I've spent the last sort of couple of weeks moaning about the weather because it's winter in the UK, and winter in the UK is largely grey and dull and it's flat and it's not terribly exciting. It's really hard to find stimulating compositions. Okay, that's a fact. Now when we get the fog and we get the mist, or we get a hoarfrost, or perhaps even a scattering of snow, then it can it can get exciting, and we can go out there to our usual haunts and find things. But normally it's just like this. It's just not very much of anything. So the challenge today is I'm going to go into a place I went to last year and discover if I just got lucky, because I spotted this place from the roadside. The autumn colours, it was just towards the end of autumn actually, but the autumn colours were really good. It just happened to be on day 2 of 2 days of fantastic fog and mist, and one of the great visits was to Padley Gorge, and it produced some wonderful results. But this place, I ended up bypassing Padley Gorge, came here on a whim. I saw some colours in trees, and it was a fantastic day, and I produced shots that were so great for me, and one of them actually won an award. So that was great. So yeah, let's head into the woodland, and we'll see what we can find. See if it was just a one-off, or whether this place can produce the goods. Even it's the tail end of winter, but I do know we've got a bit more cold weather on the way. But it's been drizzling and it's very grey. The light's super flat, but woodland can produce for you even with those conditions. Just hoping it will today, or this video won't be seen. Now this isn't a large woods by any stretch of the imagination, but there's enough of a variety of trees, and also the way the land rises and falls to make it interesting. I got some great shots in the autumn. So the challenge today is, am I going to find those shapes, textures, and of course colours on a grey winter's day? I guess the fir trees on the right, tall straight trunks, and of course they still have their colour, that deep dark green. They're up on the right, and I've got a suspicion we'll get something there. It looks quite moody, I'll give it that. May not have mist or fog or frost, but it's quite moody, quite atmospheric. Ooh, I've spotted a couple of fallen trees in the distance, so I'm gonna make my way over that way. Okay, what's going on that works here and what doesn't work? I like the fact that there's angles involved. You've got all these straight trees, and then we have these really quite nice angles from the semi-fallen trees. I have got an issue with the grey light. It's got the sun behind it at the end of the day, so it's going to be pretty bright. So I'm going to have to fiddle with the settings a little bit to bring that down. May use an ND filter just to let me open the aperture a little bit more and soften things up. Now there is a strong tree. Let me just move away a bit so you can see it. So anything in front of these fallen trees I've got to take note of, because they're all gonna probably detract from that scene. So there's one right in the middle, like literally right in the middle, but it's so close to him I actually think I can work that into the shot. The trees to, I guess, which are that way, there's one quite close, and that's going to be quite strong as well. Now, a couple of ways to deal with that. One, don't shoot it, but I'd have to get much closer than I want to. I am going to do a closer shot, but in portrait mode. Right now I'm working in landscape. The other way is to make sure that I soften that a little bit, okay? So with the focus being right there, I could really drop down. I could put the 50mm on, for example, and go to f2.8 and really soften these out so they just don't draw the eye as much. They're not as severe. But as of yet, I'm not entirely sure. And like I say, the other thing I've got to watch out for is the light, because it's grey, it's just grey, it's super dull. Ideally, you wouldn't see that at all. You can have little bits peeping through the trees and leaves, but a big corner chunk is going to be bad. Oddly enough, looking through the video as I'm doing right now, I can see all these straight avenues. And there's loads of fun shots you could do here. All would be made better with mist and fog. There's none of that today, but I'm gonna do a few of these, I think, today, and I'm gonna experiment again with black and white, which I did in the you know, when it was actually frosty, and I also did it when it was misty. But without the mist, do they still work? One other thing to note, just to let you know, there's tons of cool foreground here. So there's loads of little stumps covered in moss. Yeah, all various sizes. There's lots of dead trees. Now, if they're a big pile of dead trees, that's not so good. When it's just one or two lying there, that's quite nice. So on the ground, and you can see there's a pattern to it, undulates quite significantly, and it'll create shadows and contrast. So by and large, this is pretty good. You know, this is really nice, I think, woodland scenery. And I'm going to knock out a few shots of this one, and then I'll progress on, do a few more of the what I call tall tree shots. And do let me know when you see the video. Is there anything here you like the look of? You think maybe you would have shot that I didn't? I mean, maybe I did shoot it and I haven't shown you. Ah ha ha. But it's really quite nice here at the moment. I'm glad I came. Let's get to work now. Okay, so first frame. Just get down onto my knees so I can do this for you. There you go, there's the fallen trees. I guess they're logs now. Look pretty good. There's that strong tree I was talking about. Will that be a problem? Not sure. Look at the colours on the ground. Again, camera not doing it justice. Really vibrant. The moss is really, really bright and vibrant. Very nice. But then there's that what would you call it, triangle of hate on the right that's going to give me issues. I mean, it will create side light if I move in closer, as I suggested, and maybe, you know, crop in. But I'm going to go with this for now, and then I'm going to do some portrait shots. Different story when I get home, but I'm officially happy right now with those shots. I think I kind of got what I came for already. I went for, oh, what's that down there? I've just seen a wiggly tree amongst all the straight ones, so I might check that out in a sec. Where was I? Yeah, I think I've got the shots that I came for as far as the tall trees. So now it's a case of walking around again, which I've mentioned is quite a small area, to see what else there is. Okay, there's the wiggly tree I spotted. That's a technical term, by the way. Look at it, how exciting is that? Problem, shooting from this way, massive overexposure at the back, and quite dull anyway. So I'm going to try and work my way around it and see if I can, be quite close. That's the only problem. I'm going to be really close to it. So let's see what we can do. So this is currently, for me, not working. Super bright all around here. I've got the bright sky to the back of me, but it's still going to blow out the exposure here. It's just, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to step back. Let's see if I can show you. I'm going to step back just a little bit more and try and get over here, and then that should help me to drop the lens a little bit, just drop it down a little bit and move away from that bright sky, but still keep the exciting upper branches. Our stepping back didn't work because all the other trees wanted to get in on the action. I've never thought about that. So they basically crowd out the tree. What a I'm gonna just move around a little bit more. I don't think I got it. Just I can't get the angle, and I don't know where else I can go to maintain the integrity of that shape. I think I've got to be like 8 feet in the air. Oh well, can't win them all. So I've taken a shot of that tree with my phone. I know, I'll show you that, why not? But it's not really there to be a work of art. It's there to remind me to come back and get that tree. Okay, I'm going to get that tree. There's a number of trees that have got my mark on them that have eluded me in a composition. So one day their number will be up, rest assured. I'm going to walk up and out of the trees now. There's a bit of an old trail up here, and I'll walk along that, see what's sort of grown either side of that trail. Again, I'm really hoping for wildflower. I've not seen anything. A few snowdrops on the side of the road, a few daffodils, but nothing amazing. I just think probably the south's getting it a bit earlier than us, like they always do. Just thought I'd take a moment, have a sit down, and then I saw how the light, such as it is, was hitting the trees at the back of me. I thought that looks really good. I'll do a bit to camera here. I haven't actually got anything to say. I moaned in the last video about whether things were going well with winter, and they're not. I hate it, absolutely hate it. I'm desperate for the spring to come and start making the leaves bloom and the flowers come out, and we're going to have that, you know, a month of riotous colour, I hope. But and then it's going to be green. So the main thing about the summer, I think, is I'll probably go on longer walks. I'll go on substantial walks, and I do hope to do a bit of camping overnight as well. But I hate winter. I hate it. I really do. This is, for me, in my short time of photography, this is definitely the most boring part of it. And I think what I'm going to do is try and find another avenue to keep me entertained in photography, and also in video work as well, which I do enjoy. But yeah, thought I'd just let you know how damn bored and unhappy I am that when I come out on my only photography day of the week, you know, where I have an entire day to do it, although I only need mornings, it's been like this for like nearly a month. It gets to you, doesn't it? And especially when you're trying to produce things for other people to watch and enjoy, to educate, inspire, and maybe even have a giggle at. But yeah, there you go. So that's the rant for this week. But what a beautiful backdrop, eh? I think it reminds me of Miller's Crossing by the Coen brothers. The shots in the woodland there. A little bit more violent in that though. Another quick thing, I broke out a Canon M50. I haven't used this in ages, and this has been my favorite camera. This is what I had, a D1300 to start with, and then I bought this brand new, and I absolutely love it. I still do love it. I was going to sell it to make way for the 5DS, and I just couldn't get rid of it because I just absolutely love it. But I haven't used it as much recently, so today I'm going to take some shots with the M50, and I'm going to start with trying to get this floor scene. So I've got 50mm on it. It does have an adapter, so the crop factor is going to be a bit more severe on this because it's only an APS-C camera. That's one of the reasons I moved to the 5DS, is I wanted full frame like the big boys have. But and I'm going to do it handheld as well, which is, you know, I'm out my comfort zone with handheld, but I figure I should try and learn. Anyway, whatever shots I take with this, they'll be marked up. Okay, I'll mark them up on the video if any make it to the video. I love this camera, and if anyone ever wants to know anything about it, I'll let you know its pros and cons, no problem, because I've really abused this, so I know what's good and I know what's bad. Same with the 5DS, really. I do want to take the big leap into mirrorless. This is mirrorless, but you know, big boy mirrorless. It's a finance thing more than anything. And you know what? I still produce, I think, cracking shots with this 50 megapixel tank that I carry around in my bag. Yeah, it's really good. But yeah, I think it's time to move on. Right, away we go. Strange but true, but just sitting and snapping away with that, with the Canon M50, really, I don't know, cheered me up a little bit. I was having a bit of a moan. And then just getting back to my old camera, and arguably the thing that sort of really got me into photography in a big way. It cheered me up no end. I've got a big smile on my face now. I think it's because I shot a couple of nice images with it that perhaps I would have faffed around too much with the 5D. And with the M50, I just used it like, you know, like you would on holiday, you know, just snapping away, enjoying it. You can take this too seriously, can't you? You really can. It was really nice to just do that. I should do that more often, I think. Okay, I like this scene. Cracking trees. They got a bit more shape than the tall trees, and they're widely spaced. But the floor, although it, you know, it's all brown and beige and looks like an explosion in a Gap retail outlet, but with the green moss on the bole, is it called, of the trees? I think it looks quite good. Issue I've got, of course, is again, it's going to be that grey light. It's going to overexpose for sure. So I'm going to try and angle it down. I'm going to tilt the lens a little bit so that let me just try and make it so you can see this. There. So I want to try and cut that out as much as possible. And the only way I'm going to do that is by raising the camera and dipping the lens. Okay, that's the plan. Just want to show you why the plan isn't going to work, at least as I originally envisioned it. And I'm just going to have to suck it up and see what it does, but I'll show you. So as you can see, I'm way too close in, way too tight, and then as I try and zoom out, even with the camera as high as it'll extend, as soon as it comes out, and yeah, as soon as I start coming out from it, that very bright exposure is going to hit me. I could exposure stack. I'm not going to, because I can't be arsed. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to find the right composition for these trees, and I'll use it at least as a reference, as I do with my iPhone, is just to take a shot and say at some point this will look amazing. Let me just zoom out a little bit more so you can see. I think the shot there is going to look pretty good, but it doesn't now. Unless, I mean, I could wait for it to darken a bit. There's some darker cloud coming over, but it's just going to rain, and essentially I'll be waiting for the rain to come, which is ridiculous. But a new GoPro. I mentioned that before. But I've also bought a bunch of accessories for it. One of them's really good. I saw a YouTube lady named, oh gosh, Courtney Victoria, or Victoria Courtney, but I think it's Courtney Victoria. She's wonderful. She does a lot of woodland stuff as well, which I approve of. But she's really quirky. I think she's great, and you should probably check her out. But she had this kind of stand for a GoPro, and I bought one. It's great. You can put them anywhere, so that's good. And I also, look at this, I've got myself one of them really cool strap attachments, so I can put my M50 on it to look awesome. Don't think I've used it once. Right, I'm going to call it. I think I've done what I can here this morning. I'm going to drive around the peak a little bit, just relax, just, you know, go to a few places, do a bit of reconnaissance. I'm not expecting more photography, so I'm going to wrap up here. But this may appear at the end of some other video, because if I find something I will want to share it with you. So thanks for coming along. I really appreciate the number of subscribers. It's just really heading fast towards 500, which is the goal that I'd kind of set for a few months, and it, you know, all being well, it could happen sooner. But thank you for that. If I hit 500, I'll be very happy, and maybe I will go somewhere special. You know, well, it's all special around here. But I'll head to, you know, Wales or Scotland or something. There's a bit of a celebration for me and for you as well for coming along. So yeah, thanks for that, everyone. Do check out who's the other guy I was going to mention this week, because he's a lovely fella. Matt Does Mountains. It's not photography, dude is not a photographer. You know, he's just a ridiculously fit bloke who does all of the big peaks. You know, he does the Wainwrights, all that kind of thing. He's a really sound lad, and I think his channel's growing. I hope it does, because he's really good to watch. He puts himself out there, doesn't do anything too ridiculous, I think, but you know, he gives you the full rundown on these walks. If you're into your big walks, which I'm not, I kind of watch them and stick pins into a voodoo doll of him. But he's a great bloke. Go and watch Matt Does Mountains, and follow his Instagram as well, because he has got some good shots on there. Bye for now.